What is up, YouTube? It is I, HPJ here. How are you guys doing? Hopefully, you're doing well. Welcome to another discussion video because we're going to talk about Invoked. Invoked is getting a surplus of cards, and I wish I was joking, but I'm not. Sorry. They're getting a ton of stuff. I'm very sleepy, so I apologize if I start yawning during this. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about in terms of the invoked archetype because these guys are getting a wave of cards to support them in Chaos Origin. And Chaos Origin itself is going to be full of some pretty amazing support cards. We also got a reprint of a Majestus monster, and not too long ago, we just got the announcement that the invoked archetype will be the next archetype getting a wave of cards supporting them in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicle series. Now, I'm not gonna confirm that because I don't have any real knowledge of that is being confirmed. But they are confirmed as the next archetype to have a Chronicle series based off of them. That I'm sorry, I'm very sleepy. I'm very fucking sleepy. So excuse me if my language comes out a little strong and because never, and that I'm extremely tired because I'm hungry and I'm tired and I just got off a long days of work. So, coming from Fusion Forcers, the Invoked archetype is led by Alistar the Invoker, a single handed normal summon that basically helps your archetype get into major pieces of itself to help you fuse into these monsters that Alistar has used his magic to summon from different dimensions. The crazy thing about Invocation, the main spell card for the Invoked archetype, is that fusion summoning can be used, of course, by from cards from your hand or field, but also, depending on the situation, you can banish monsters from your opponent's graveyard to support. And it seems like the new Invoke monsters are not letting that go by also incorporating the banish mechanic as well. Because there are a lot of really cool pieces between all these monsters, and I'm super happy to talk about basically all of them. So why don't we go ahead and we take a look? And the first one up is the new Alistar monster. This is Alistar the Remnant. It is a level 4 Dark Attribute Spellcaster type monster with 1800 attack and 1000 defense. You can use each of its effects once per turn each. And they are, if this card is in your hand, you can target one spellcaster or fusion monster on your field. It says to summon this card. Then if you do, that monster gains 1000 attack until the end of the turn. If this card is normal or special summon, or flip face up, I'm sorry. Normal, special, or flip face up, you can banish one invoke monster from your extra deck to then add one invocation or one spell that mentions it from your deck to your hand. The next monster up is Ewaz. Awaz, I'm sorry, not Ewaz, Awaz. The Spirit of the Law. This monster, if it looks familiar, there's a Majestus fusion monster also named Awaz that is basically this monster, but now we see it in its normal effect monster form. So it is a level 8 wind attribute fiend type monster with 2000 attack and 2800 defense. You'll use each of the effects of this card's name once per turn each. Excuse me. You can banish this card from your hand or field to add one Alistar monster from your deck to your hand. Then, if this artifact was activated while on the field this turn, immediately after, you can normal summon one spellcaster type monster. If a face up fusion monster or monsters you control is sent to the graveyard except by battle, you can, while this card is in your graveyard, you can just summon this card. Then you can fusion summon one invoked monster using monsters from your hand or field as material. Next is, and I hope I pronounced this correctly, Virashkum the Artificial Spirit. Level 3 Light Attribute Illusion Monster with an attack and defense of 1000. You can use each of the following effects of this card's name once per turn each. If you have an Alistair monster in your field or graveyard, you can summon this card from your hand. If this card is such a summon, you can set one invocation or one spell that mentions it from your deck. When your opponent activates a card or an effect in response to the activation of your fusion monster effect. Okay, let me read that again. If your opponent activates a card or an effect in response to the activation of your fusion monster's effect, quick effect, you can banish this card from your field, and if you do, negate your opponent's effect, and then if you do that, banish that card, not destroy, banish that card. Next up is Invoked Seraph. 1600 attack, 2600 defense, level 6 light attribute pyro fusion monster. Requires one Alistar monster and plus one fire or wind monster. You only use each of its effects once per turn each. During the main phase, quick effect, you can target one level 6 or lower monster from either graveyard. Summon it to your field. Excuse me, but its effects are negated. So just to repeat that, during the main phase, quick effect, you can target one level 6 or lower monster from either grave, special summon it from to your field in defense position, but its effects are negated. The second effect is if this card is in your graveyard, you can fusion summon one invoked fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing its material from your hand or field, including this card in your graveyard. Next is Invoked Babylon, a level 7 fire attribute illusion fusion monster with 2450 attack and defense. Requires one Alistar monster plus one light or earth monster. You can use each of the following effects of this card's name once per turn each. If this card is special summoned, you can add one Verashkum, the Artificial Spirit, or magical name Rosa Mudai from your deck to your hand. Then you can banish one monster from either graveyard. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one fusion monster you control. All face-up monsters your opponent currently controls loses attack equal to that monster's attack until excuse me. Next up is Invoke Oceanos, level 9 Earth Attribute Sea Serpent Fusion Monster with 3000 attack and defense. Requires one Alistar monster plus one Dark or Water monster. You can use the third effect of this card's name once per turn. Its first effect is your opponent's monsters cannot target monsters for attacks while this card is in your main monster zone, except for this one. Your any monsters uh that any monster sent to your opponent's graveyard is banished instead while this card is in your extra monster zone. And then you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one fusion monster you control, and it can attack your opponent directly. Alright. Next up is Invoke Transcendent Ion. Is a level 10 dark attribute fiend type monster, 3800 attack and 3200 defense. Sorry. My eyes. Two more fusion monsters with different attributes. You can only use one of the two effects of this card's name once per turn, and only once that turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you can banish any. You banish. You can banish You banish cards from your field in or graveyard up to the number of material you'll use. Then, if you use three or more, you can look at your opponent's extra deck and then banish up to 3 cards from it. The second effect is a quick effect where you can declare one attribute and all other face up monsters on the field become that attribute until the end of this turn. The first spell is Invoked Sword. It's a quick play spell. You can use each of the effects of this card's name once per turn each. Fusion summon one monster from your extra deck using monsters you control. If you if you're summoning an invoked monster, you can also use banished monsters by returning them to the graveyard. The second effect is during your main phase of discarding your graveyard, you can target one outside monster or invocation in your graveyard. Shuffle this card into your deck, and if you do, add that card to your hand. The next card up is Spirit Sword Iwas. Iwas. You can use. You only use one card with this card's name per turn. You can activate these effects and can not declare an attack for the rest of the turn, except with fusion monsters. Special summon one Awas, the spirit of the law, from your deck or graveyard. Send to the graveyard or banish one Alistar monster from your deck. Look at 3 random face down cards in your opponent's extra deck and then banish one of them. The next card up is Magical Name Rosa Mudai. It's a normal trap, and you only use each of the effects of this card's name once per turn. Banish one Alistar monster or one fusion monster from your graveyard. So summon one invoked monster from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, but banish it during the end phase. If a monster is banished face up while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card and then target one of your banished invoked monsters and special summon it. Then we have the reprint of Artemis, the Majestus Moon Maiden, and apparently some sleeves based off of the Majestus archetype, which will be released the same day as Chaos Origin. So talk about a powerhouse of cards. While each of them are very amazing, Alistar is going to have 2 new main deck monsters to play around with, and the array of things that the Invoked is going to be having fun with is going to be crazy, because you have so many various options that you can do already with Invoked. Like you can play Shadal Invoked, you can play Dogmatica Invoked, and then take advantage of like the second, like going against Slayer 2 or something like that. Like you have so many fusion variants you can play around to, and even more so just the Majestus addition to it, because you can combine the Majestus with the Invoked and really get your fusion setup going crazy. I like a good portion of this, I'm not gonna lie. This is really, really cool. I'm also just happy to announce, like, if I haven't already mentioned it, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicle series is going to be featuring the invoked archetype. So there might be also some hints of history from Alistar and Endymion and Renoa, since they all have history. Because initially they're all Majestus monsters, they're all spellcasters who have high lineage within the spellcaster community. We know the history of the Invoked, we know the Invoked's attachment to um, the spell books in the spellbook tower, and that Alistar the Invoker created the spellbook tower, and the whole conflict over magic and the usage of it as well. So it's going to be really good to see all of that play out. There could be a high possibility that we're going to get a structure deck based off of the Chronicle series for the Invoke, because there was one for Fallen of Albaz and the Dogmatica, and then after that was the Spirit Charmers. So hey, if we're gonna get all these really cool structure decks and stuff, go right ahead. But please, please make sure that what you can give us isn't just, stuff to just look pretty, but stuff to be meaningful. Because as much as I love the Charmers and their story, I just wasn't feeling the structure deck. I mean, cute reprints of things that I already own copies of, but it was just like all the additional stuff was just like it wasn't necessary. But I guess that is a thing to come. So I think what probably most likely will happen is once the TCG gets Chaos Origins, we're most likely going to see the structure deck, and they're going to be like, hey, buy the structure deck, but also go get cards from this core set so you can build that for a more competitive thing. I really want to see what people will do with this. I've seen a video or two so far, and I have to say, I'm highly impressed. So let me know, because I'll be very honest with you. This is gonna be really good inclusion to the Invoked. It's definitely gonna pull some pieces. I love the Artemis artwork looks great for her all art. But I want to know what you guys think about this, and you can definitely let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do thank and appreciate you guys for watching. I apologize sincerely for the yawning because I'm very tired, very sleepy, and I need to get this video done. So, hey, at least it got done. So if there's any questions, that comment section is right there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel as it helps out tremendously. And you can hit the notification bell to be informed of when I upload more content. With that said, thanks everyone for watching. Me and HPJ signing out. Bye-bye.